Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. We will start with the three chants of Omkar, the pious sound, to make ourselves more involved and focused. Sitting with your back, keeping your shoulders proper. Allow your chin to be parallel to the floor. As you breathe in, breathe out, have a of your breaths. That's very nice of you. Slowly inhale. Gently open your eyes. Thank you very much. Last class we had started with the third chapter, that is the Tritiya Upadesha in relation with the mudras. We have understood the main intention behind the mudra practice is to stimulate the Kundalini and let it rise. That means bring about our progress towards the consciousness as the stimulation of the Kundalini takes place very much with the help of the mudras. We have also understood what are the different synonyms for Sushumna, as this will be used very frequently in the subsequent shlokas, like Shunya Padavi, Brahmarandra, Mahapatha, Smashana, Shambhavi. All these were used as Sushumna. The Sushumna Nadi will be used for as connotations for Sushumna. And in the fifth shloka, we read that Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena Prabodayet Tumi Ishwaram. Ishwari is none other than goddess Kundalini. Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena Prabodayet. With all efforts, we should go ahead and with the help of mudras or the practice of mudras, we should try to arouse the Kundalini. Brahma Dwar Mukhe Suptam Mudra Samacharet. So Brahma Dwara Mukhe, at the mouth of the Brahma Dwara is the entrance to that Mahapatha or Sushumna. We should stimulate, activate that Kundalini, Mudrabhyasam Samachari, with the help of Mudra. Having understood this, with the whole purpose behind the practice of Mudra is to get stabilized what you started. This Mudra as a teacher is not used in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. We talk about Yama Niyama, the self-restraints, the self-observations. We talk about the science of asana. What is the way truly one should practice asana? We also talk about the understanding of pranayama, where it is said to do all the modifications as you breathe in, as you breathe out, as you sustain the breath in or sustain the breath out, by keeping in the mind देश काल संख्याभिः paradrishto dirgha sukshmaha, as per the sutra. Desha is the place, kala is the time, sankhya numbers of inhalation exhalation, or you can say purak rechak along with the kumbhaka, and at last is ki you have to make it dirgha and sukshma. So whenever we are practicing pranayama, we should be always aware of these words. Okay, are we making things really disciplined with ease? Are we making it subtle and shallow? Are we making it completely as a devoted practice? If this is done, yes, we may be doing justice and achieving the fourth one, Chaturtha, Bahaya Abhyantara Vishayaka Shepi Chaturtha. Okay, so with this understanding, you have already come to the last verse in the second chapter, which says ki if you are into that practice of pranayam, if you are into that practice of purely making your nadis completely cleansed, you will be experiencing this kind of symptoms. Vapu krushvatvam prasannata, nadasvatatvam naine sunarmete, bindu jayo, agni deepanam. Huh? What are these all? Nadi vishuddhi hatasiddhi lakshanam. If you are into that lakshana, if you are into that kind of understanding, symptoms, experiencing it, now come to mudras. Now come to let it get stable. Because in most of the mudras, whether it is Mahamudra, whether it is Mahabandha, whether it is Mahaveda, whether it is Udiyana, whether it is Jalandhara, whether it is Moolabandha, you will find that the breath manipulation is happening. And for that, you have already prepared with the practice of pranayama. In Gheranda Samhita, it's slightly opposite. He makes you aware of the mudras first and then says, now bring about the sense control with pratyahara and then get into pranayama. So that all these three, from physiology, how you are getting into the psychological or metaphysical concept, that is beautifully made to understand in Gheranda Samhita. But here we are step by step. This explanation about mudras to get into the practice, because the mudras will make you understand okay, how far you need to practice asana more, how far you need to practice pranayama more, so that you are getting the hold of that mudra better and better. This kind of experience will come to you as you enter the practice of yoga. And then he talks about the 10 mudras. The description of 10 mudras is given in the 6th shloka. He says, Mahamudra Mahabandho Mahavedascha Khechari Udiyanam Moolabandhastato Jalandhara Bhidah Karani Vipritakhya Vajroli Shakti Chalanama. The 10 mudras, Mahamudra, Mahabandha, Mahaveda, Khechari, Udiyan, Moolabandha, Jalandhara Bandha, Vipreet Karani, Vajroli, and Shakti Chalan. Why I always say that Gheranda Samhita is like a one-step or advanced explanation of Hatha Pradipika after as 25 mudras have been explained in Gheranda Samhita. In that 25 mudra, if you see, Mahamudra and Nabhu Mudra is 1 and 2. But 3, 4, 5 is Moolabandha Bandha and Udiyana Bandha. And then comes Mahabandha. Then comes Mahaveda. Then comes Khechari. So, there, in order to practice Mahabandha, you need to have the knowledge of Mudra, Jalandhara Bandha, and Udiyana Bandha is clearly made us understood by Gheranda Muni. Whereas here, Swatmaramji is taking it for granted that the Guru is there to teach, and Guru knows how to go ahead with step by step, and the student is not going to learn by himself. He is learning by himself. He is not getting that. So he is taking into his mind that consideration and going ahead that way. So this way, these 10 mudras have been placed as you see. Next, what is the purpose of this mudras? Why are we supposed to? What are you going to get out of the practice of this mudras? Idam hi mudra dashakam. These are the 10 mudras which takes you towards Jara Marana Nashanam. They will take you beyond birth and death. Jara Marana Nasha is going to happen. You will not be experiencing the birth or the death again because you are going to that Unmani Avastha. He says, Adinatha Uditam, Divyam Ashta Aishwaryam Pradayakam. Adinatha Udit has been propounded or it has been explained, it has been said. It has been said by whom? The great Lord Adinatha himself. Divyam Ashta Aishwarya. Divyam Ashta Aishwarya is the 8 Mahasiddhis. When we Mahasiddhi, it is Anima, Mahima, Laghima, Garima, Prapti, Prakamya, Aishitvam, Vashitvam, Kama Vashitvam. We find this mention of this Ashtasiddhi in certain Upanishads. Yoga Kundalini Upanishad, Jnana Bindu Upanishad. As you are coming across this kind of siddhis, what are these siddhis? The supernatural powers. And in our Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, we find this as a result of the practice of Sanyama, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, practice as one unit. Ekatra Sanyama. All these three brought together is Sanyama, and that is when practice you are coming across various realizations related to Prakriti as well as Purusha, and you find that you are having everything under your control. You can become as small, as minute as atom, and you can become big as magnitude as you can think about. The best example of Ashtamahasiddhi is none other than Lord Hanuman, who became very minute to enter to Sri Lanka, or you can say to find out Maya. And in order to not to get conquered and make people understand how powerful he is, he magnified himself to the whole Sri Lanka, like the whole place, the whole resident was imagining how big he is. He is bigger than that of our Kumbhakarna, that we think that he is the largest one. But what is that? He can fly from that place which belongs to India, in Sri Lanka, by taking one jump. Now, what has made him to fly in the air, fly in the sky? That is a siddhi. Becoming big, becoming small, siddhi. All said and done, friends. We are not working on these mudras for attainment of siddhis. Otherwise, in yoga, we may become artharthi. We will just work for siddhis and do not understand about the self-realization. I was wondering today in the morning, such a great learning today. Thank you, Asha ma'am, for bringing about all those points and connecting teachers like us to become very disciplined in their behaviors, in their understanding of the subject. This is so important. You can start understanding spiritual, how that kind of discrimination, that Vivek Buddhi should work when you are into the progress of the practice. So when he says this Ashta Aishwaryam Pradayakam, you will have it. You can understand that it is the byproduct of your practice of mudras, or you can say the practice of yoga itself.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what did you mean in the morning when you said Artha here and hereafter?
When I said here and hereafter means, so I am not only earning it for my living, but I am depositing it for myself for the future also. I am keeping it for myself. Means I am not ready to share it with everyone. ये मेरा है, मेरा ही रहेगा. जैसे कि सुनील भाई ने कहा ना You are having the cake and eating it all together for yourself only. You are not sharing it. You are not giving it to the others.
But
So-
there's nothing.
I think it's a depositing in the worldly account as well as the heavenly account at the same time.
Okay.
So this was going in my mind. See, Asha ma'am, let me tell you one thing very clearly. A person thinks like that when he is having that mentality. So Sabir bhai is thought that in his mind, if I am teaching class, then what I am getting out of it? If I am thinking what I am getting out of it, then where I am teaching? Then I am Artharthi only, na? That's clear.
No, but sir, see, okay, we will discuss this in the.
No, let us have it now so that I am happy with it.
Sir, see, this Artha is a part of your dharma, right? As a householder, shouldn't you earn money? You have a family, but how much? You have a certain year. And naturally, you have to plan for the old age also, because later on you may or may not have the capacity or the capability, physical capability, capacity, to function like that, to work like that. And then you may be dependent on other people. You don't want to do that. So what is wrong in that?
Nothing wrong, but I should understand the wants.
Yeah, but then when you started, you start with a certain amount and every year you kind of increase it for the inflation.
True.
You have a percentage, 7.5 is the inflation rate in India, or 10%. So then you go accordingly. So what is wrong?
It is not wrong. I am not saying it is wrong. But whether I am thinking about the inflation and increasing it, or whether I am thinking about something else and increasing it.
There comes your yoga philosophy then, yoga teaching.
So that is this. Yes, sir.
I feel, sorry, so long as the direction is right, it doesn't matter where we start.
Yeah.
I'm saying your direction, to the extent I know, okay, and I may be obviously lacking information. Your direction, the right direction started when in the medicine shop, you started to advise the patients कि भाई देखो ये चीज poisons है, कम से कम लो मत लो. So,
Yes.
right? Because the whole, I mean, यहाँ पे सारी गुणातीत वाली बात है, सारे गुण का भी ये रहता है कि भाई पॉजिटिव भी है नेगेटिव भी है. मेन चीज ये है कि क्या चेतना, मतलब अपन उसकी तरफ अनकवर करने की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं या उल्टी डायरेक्शन में बढ़ रहे हैं. अगर सही डायरेक्शन में है ना सर, तो सारी चीजें एक्ट एज शैल वी से, मतलब ये आपके मूवमेंट में सहायक हो सकती है, राइट? और अगर डायरेक्शन ठीक है तो अच्छी से अच्छी चीज, माने फिर वो उसका माने अर्थ नहीं रह जाता. अपन बात बड़ी बड़ी कर सकते हैं, तो इसलिए बस just one thing that you, I, all of us have to be sure of is, are we moving the direction of increasing our awareness?
Yes.
If so, everything else, to my mind, right or wrong, is almost immaterial.
We should be always aware of that fact. That awareness should be maintained as we interact. That is there.
That's exactly.
That's
Exactly.
more important.
And
Sure.
to the extent I know you, to the extent we have interacted,
Yeah.
I do not have a kind of doubt.
Very true. See, for myself, I may be observing, but whether I'm making it happen for others also, that becomes important. Sabir bhai is a teacher and many people try to follow Sabir bhai. So if they are trying to follow, whether I'm leading them as a right example, whether I'm making them understand what they are supposed to do at that time. When I mentioned about the Facebook, Instagram and all, even Sabir bhai is very active on Facebook, very active on Instagram. He is not that, media savvy, but he makes his child to make him understand that our product should go to the public and they should know what we are doing so that they are getting into our activities. So make it sure that this is happening. When we are making this sure that this is happening, how the feedback comes to us with the number of likes, with the number of comments, all those things we are, अरे इसमें तो कोई likes मिला ही नहीं, इसमें तो कोई ये आया ही नहीं, nobody is appreciating our efforts. ऐसे लगता है. But sometime now, after going through morning session, one thing was very clear: information delivered, you will be getting what you deserve. But it is our duty to keep on doing what we are supposed to do, taking the advantage of that social media also. It is not that if it is not available, if it is available, why we are not taking the advantage of the same? We should take the advantage, but that advantage should not become our weakness. That advantage should mislead us. So there was the connection. Okay, when we are understanding the four type of people who are into that devotion to the Lord, as we says, Artha, Jignasu, Artha, as well as going for the Jnani. So Jnani, he is way beyond. उनकी तो बात ही नहीं हो रही यहाँ पर. लेकिन बाकी के तीनों के अंदर अगर कभी हम आप डिफरेंस नहीं कर पाए, तो शायद फिर हम योग करके कोई मतलब ही नहीं होगा हमारे. So
Yeah.
that is that. हाँ. Yes,
The
yes.
value kept in mind. Value. What do you value? You value your health. Then you will not work beyond a certain time limit. You value
Yes.
peace. Then you will not get swayed by this like and dislike. You have done your bit. Abhi, you've thrown it open to the world. Jo aya, nahi aya, that karmaneva adhikarasti, that thing has to be there.
Very true.
And the value system has to be strong. What is it that I value in life? Do I value my health, my peace of mind? Do I value money? Do I value the praise of others? Do I value the likes? Do I value the dislikes? What is it that is priority in my mind?
Yeah. And all this is making us think so much. Okay, the real learning is happening now. I would sometimes. Otherwise, learning and teaching was happening, but now it is getting absorbed. So that's
See,
great.
We have learned a sentence. You teach best what you need to learn the most.
Most. Very true. Very true. Very true.
Chalo.
You know, also Sabir bhai, just sorry, a final thing. So a few weeks back, I met this gentleman, a very National School of Drama graduate, and then has done a master's in yoga. But for whatever reasons, COVID, etc., he was working at a dentist shop on the commercial side. So anyway, I happened to go, somehow I picked up a book and that happened. So he, after a few minutes, he's again saying, "Arey, ye paisa vaisa to, गड़बड़ चीज है, कि भटकाता है, etc. etc." ऐसा यार देखो, एक चीज बताओ, अभी चाकू है, अब आप चाकू से आप फल भी काट सकते हो और गला भी काट सकते हो, तो चाकू का इसमें तो दोष नहीं है ना, ये तो यूज करने वाले का है. सो लाइकवाइज आई फील, चाहे वो इंस्टाग्राम हो, फेसबुक हो, कोई भी हो, अगर हम उसको एज अ टूल यूज करेंगे,
Yes.
बहुत अच्छी बात है, राइट? तो इसीलिए मैं अब मतलब जस्ट टू रीइंफोर्स माय अर्लियर पॉइंट कि वंस द, एंड आशा जी ने बड़ा राइटली कहा था जस्ट टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द मॉर्निंग सेशन, एट द एंड इट्स इंटेंशन व्हिच इज इंपॉर्टेंट. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज न्यूट्रल. सो आपकी जो जिसे नियत कहते हैं, वो उसमें चक दे इंडिया में वो डायलॉग है ना कि साथ काम करने के लिए ताकत की नहीं, नियत की जरूरत पड़ती है. याद है ना आपको? हॉकी कोच कहते हैं. So I think that just that one thing is simple. हाँ जी, sorry Asha ji.
No. Can I just say some? If we have 2 minutes,
Yes.
I talked to somebody yesterday, and I talk to her quite often, and she told me this week she's had a fight with her husband 5 times. 5 times in a week. They've had massive fights, at to the extent that they want to divorce each other. So I said, why? So she said, because he just doesn't see from my point of view. I said, but what is your point of view? They both are into business together. She says that he doesn't take the right decisions. So I said, then why? She said, I've cried so much this week. So I said, what is it that you want? She said, I want peace. So I said, okay, then just leave it. It's so simple. You want peace. Then she said, it's not so easy. So I said, well, what is it that you want? I don't understand. You want peace. You don't want to fight. What is it that you want? He said, yeah, but I want the money also. So I said, now make a choice between the money and the peace. You have money. It's not that you don't have money. So then she said, actually, yeah, I think I'm just trying to be greedy. I want peace. So I think I'll leave it. So what is it that we value in life? The crux is that, what is it that I value in life?
True. Ultimately, that is what matters.
Yeah. If I value good health, I won't work beyond a point. Because I need time, right? I need time
Yes.
to look after health. I need to do my yoga. I need to eat the right kind of food. Yeah. Sorry.
No.
So you want something?
No. No, I was coming back to, because see, I don't have the pages in my book, so it takes a little bit of time for me to open the website and look at the text. So now I have opened the text, so I've gone back to the text. So I just wanted to ask about the text. No, but I don't want to interrupt you. Please go ahead after you have finished.
Done, sir. We are.
No,
I'm
sir, Sadiq bhai, last time you had explained the meaning of why Smashana has been used for Sushumna, but it has slipped my mind. So would you kindly explain it again? Why Smashana has been used for Sushumna?
See, according to Indian mythology, uh, Lord Shiva is referred to as Bhutanath and is said to be dwelling in Smashana. Now, since Sushumna is something which is signifying the end of the materialistic world and entering it, because unless and until you are disconnected with your worldly attachment, you will not be able to open up with your Sushumna Nadi. So naturally, when you are going from that towards the Sushumna, it is like you are coming to Smashana, end of worldly life, and you are no more with your body. So it is that kind of synonym used over there.
Right.
It is like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the second question is, you explained Brahmadwara. So would you kindly do that again? What is Brahmadwara? In the
Brahmadwara, see, again, this Sushumna is a conceptual understanding. When we say Brahmanadi, it is Sushumna Nadi. But when we say Brahmadwara, that is the entrance to this Brahmanadi. So this entrance to the Brahmanadi is choked, or it is closed by the Kundalini Shakti, with its mouth covering the entrance. So since it is in Supta Avastha, since it is in the dormant state, so there the ignorance prevails about the true nature of existence. So Sushumna is not coming into consideration. But the moment the Kundalini is getting activated, it is going to leave the door of the Sushumna. So leaving the door of the Sushumna and making it open for the traveling of the prana energy, that means that now you are in the process of transition from the worldliness to the spirituality, from worldly life to the spirituality. Yeah.
So is Brahmadwara identified with any part of the body?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
Conceptual understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. See, even Sushumna, it is a concept. Even Kundalini, it is a concept. Kundalini is Maya. Kundalini is the projection of the consciousness. So when the projection wants to go back, today in the morning we were talking about that light which is kept on the screen, and we can see what is happening on the screen. But the reason behind it is that focusing light. So now the screen thing wants to go ahead and become one with the light. So there it is realizing it is not the screen, but it is the focus light. So when that thing comes, the journey starts, and the journey starts where we say that the Brahmadwara is now becoming open for that journey to be access to. So this is how we connected that. Because there is nothing, agar kabhi hum cheer phadak dekhenge, to we are not going to get any Mooladhara Chakra or any kind of, these are all energy centers which are conceptual ones, which are connected to our existence with Prakriti. So from the earth element of Mooladhara to water element of Swadhisthana to fire element of Manipura to air element of Anahata Chakra to going towards the space element above ahead towards the Agnya Chakra and Vishuddhi Chakra beyond. So this is the understanding to subtler body, and beyond the subtler body we are going to the causal body. So this is a journey, but this has been explained with certain terms. So these terms are the understanding which we have to take conceptually, making us understand that we are going beyond the material experiences into the spiritual experiences. So these have been given certain words. This is how we have to take it. I hope I am clear, sir. Yes. Okay, fine. So now we are going ahead with the same seventh shloka, where we are trying to understand that these are the 10 mudras which leads us into Jara Marana Nashanam, thereby overcoming the cycle of birth and death. And it is said by the great Lord Adinath that this is going to bestow the 8 supernatural powers, Ashta Aishwaryam, Vallabham Sarvasiddhinam, Durlabham Marutam Api, Vallabham Sarvasiddhinam. These mudras were really appreciated by the great adepts in yoga or practitioners of Hatha Yoga. And it seemed to be difficult for the practice by the gods. Now, why it is Durlabham to Marutamapi? Because this can be practiced only in this human body. This human body is the medium which will make you to go through that sadhana. By being in that body of gods, you will not be able to attain that kind of changes that a human body is going to make you. That's why we say भगवान को भी जो है मनुष्य की योनि में आना होता है अगर मोक्ष को प्राप्त करना है. अब यहाँ पर भगवान कौन है और मनुष्य कौन है, और फिर हम अगर कभी हायर एनर्जीज को छोड़कर अगर द हाईएस्ट वन, द अल्टीमेट वन परमात्मन के बारे में सोचे, तो एज वी वर डिस्कसिंग इन द मॉर्निंग, द कॉन्शियसनेस, द परमात्मन, द ईश्वर, द ब्रह्मन, whatever name you call. But when you talk about gods, many gods, then we should understand the forces which are existing to manage this whole universe. So these are the gods who are managing the universe to function it the way it is supposed to be. So if these forces also want to attain that kind of state, then first they have to come to this kind of understanding in connection with the human body, and then only they will be able to experience this beauty of mudras and then go ahead. So this is somewhere a decorative statement by Swatmaramji, making us understand that this is only available for humans and we should practice it where it is deprived to even the gods. So when it is deprived to the gods, we have to just understand that it is not available for anyone, because moksha is available only for the human body. The consciousness, the Atman residing in the human body, is only viable to go ahead and attain that freedom or self-realization. Here that thing is made very clear. And then in the 8th shloka, he says, Gopniyam prayatnena yatha ratna karandakam tasya chinnaiva vaktavyam pri suratam yatha. Now these are supposed to be concealed like a casket of gem. As you preserve the treasure, as you make them safe, one should not talk about the experiences of the practice of mudras to anyone, as a respectable woman does not talk about her enjoyment along with her partner. She doesn't talk about it. So here the example of the woman given this way, it is slightly sometimes making us what do you say, unhappy. Why Swatmaramji should use such kind of words? But that time, while writing down and expressing, he might have felt that this is the best way that I can make the other person understand that the way a female is not expressing her joy of her experiences with her husband, in the very similar manner, the yogi or the Hatha yogi who is practicing the mudras and experiencing the changes should not go on advertising it from all of us. Because there are people on this earth, they may be hearing what you are trying to say, but they may not be doing any justice to the understanding of the same. For example, if I would like to say, can you keep yourself mute there? Thank you. The sound of birth nature is so strong there around. We are naturally enjoying those sound. Sunil bhai sitting under that beautiful tree and under the chirping birds and all. But at the same time, they are not allowing me to speak. They want to say Hata Pradipika to you, not allowing Sabir bhai to speak out. So Sabir bhai said कि इनका मुंह बंद करा देता हूँ, मेरा ही मुंह चालू रखता हूँ. So how to go about with that was the method. So here, if I would like to give an example, just imagine I am taking a class, giving such kind of information, what is there in our text to my student, and my students are influenced with that. One student, she goes down from my classroom after hearing that lecture, very peaceful, very much blessed, and as soon as, and she's motivated, she is influenced. So when she is motivated and influenced, the moment she shows her hands to the rickshawala and stops and sits, from the place of my class to her home, it is going to take at least 10 minutes to 15 minutes journey. And she end up having a nice conversation with that driver of the rickshaw. And she says, you know, today I had a nice learning from my dear teacher Sabir Sheikh. And he was explaining me about all the spirituality, how to attain, how to go ahead, how to excel. Now the rickshawala who was driving, he was thinking when the destination will come and I will dump this lady out and take my money and run away. So now see, to whom you are supposed to say and whom you are not supposed to say, it becomes very clear. So here we have to keep this science as gopaniya and share it only who can absorb it, who can understand it, who can value it, who can bring it into their application. What is the point of telling that person who is just not able to, not having that intellect to grasp it? What is the point in making that person understand? In fact, for that person, you should say only that what he can understand, grasp, and gradually progresses to the level that you are trying to make him understand you. So this is the indication coming to us from Swatmaranji, where he says, Gopaniyam prayatnena yatha ratna karandakam. These all practices of mudras, or maybe practices also, you should keep them, preserve them as casket of gems. And one should not talk about them to anyone. You should not just go on making it said to everyone, because they are not going to value it. So say to only those who are really interested, who have made themselves capable of grasping it, who are really deserving to know more about it. Knowledge go only to them. This is what Swatmaranji is making us understand. Then we come to each and every description of the mudras. The first mudra is Atha Mahamudra. We are going to learn mudra, which starts with this shloka saying, Ad mulena vamena yonim sampidya dakshinam prasaritam padam krutva karabhyam dharaye dridam. Ad mulena vamena yonim. You have to take the left heel at the perineal region and press it nicely over there, as if with that pressure, it is like, you know, you have applied Mula Bandha. The extended right leg, the left leg is folded at the knee, the heel is kept at the perineum. What about the right leg? The right leg is straight. The extended right leg should be held firmly by both the hands, either by interlocking your fingers or by holding. But it is not Janu Shirasana that you are doing. In Janu Shirasana, you are only going ahead and holding the foot, but at the same time, you are completely bending forward, trying to rest your chin or forehead on the knee or beyond the knee or before the knee, as per the length and the breadth of your body. So when this kind of understanding is coming, here Mahamudra is leaning forward, holding by interlocking the fingers. The foot is held in our hand. What we are doing? He is talking about that action in the next shloka. He says, Yatha dandahataha sarva dandakaraha prajayate rujvi bhuta tatha shakti kundali sahasa bhavet kanthe bandham samapya dharayed vayum urdhvatah. by performing the bandha at the throat, which is known as Bandhara Bandha. One should keep raising the Vayu. Now we have to understand, raising of the Vayu means the apana which is directed downwards should be made reverse. With the application of that pressure at the perineal region, you are already making its direction the other way. So now you have to let that flow upward along with prana. So prana apana urdhva sthiti has to take place. As a result, what is going to happen? Kundalini is going to get activated, become straight as a coiled snake. If it is struck by a stick, it becomes straight right from its tail to the hood. That's what it is. In the very similar manner, you have to make it happen. Now, friends, this is a conceptual understanding. You people are very mature to understand clearly. When these statements with that stick or with that rod, as you provoke that kundal, it becomes straight. Earlier, how it was in that 3.5 circle. What is that 3.5 circle? It is related to A, O, Ma, and the other is towards the consciousness. So, A, O, Ma, Saptama, or as explained in Mandukya Upanishad related to Om, Vaishvanara to Tejasa, from Tejasa to Prajna state. So, Vaishvanara related to material world. Tejasa having that kind of intellectual ability to transfer from Vaishvanara to Prajna. Prajna, that wisdom which is coming to us as a knowledge out of experience. Experience of what? Our practice. So we need to continuously be in that Abhyas and Vairagya, where we are completely getting detached with the material world and excelling on the path to become Shiva. So here, that Abhyas, that Vairagya is like that rod through which we are making this energy straightened, this Shakti, this Kundalini straightened, so that now it is going ahead through the Sushumna Nadi to excel and become one with the Shiva. So the words, the decorative word, the words behind these words needed to be properly understood so that we come to the understanding what is the meaning of this conceptual language, which is making us understand that we are going beyond from these experiences to that experiences. अगर देखा जाए, word to word meaning देखा जाए, तो a person will start thinking, ऐसा कुंडलिनी ये शेप में है, वो सर्प में है, तो वो डंडा क्या है जिससे इसको प्रोवोक करके स्ट्रेट करना है, और वो सुषुम्ना क्या है जो पाइपलाइन की तरह है, उसमें से ये जाएगा. तो this becomes a very difficult thing to absorb by an immature student, one who is not understanding conceptual understanding behind this fact of Kundalini awakening and traveling through the Madhya path towards the Shiva. So here, Mahamudra is playing that role. What role? Mahamudra is playing the role of Abhyas and Vairagya to get you disconnected from the material world and get you connected with the spiritual aspects and take you ahead. So this is how we are understanding it. And it is said, Tadasa Maranavastha Jayate Diputashraya. It is as you inhale, you have to retain the breath in about the cessation of the activity which has to do with the two nadis. What are the activities that we do with the two nadis, the Surya Nadi and the Chandra Nadi, or Ida and Pingla? Ida is the left and Pingla is the right. When these two nadis are active, you are literally active with the material world, with the worldliness, with the activity. It is very clearly telling us that you bring a stoppage to that. Mahamudra being into practice, you are going to bring about that kind of cessation. And with that cessation taking place, you will be bringing the activity of Ida and Pingla to a standstill. When these two nadis are coming to standstillness, then you are understanding the opening of the Sushumna. Otherwise, you are into action of the physical body. You are into worldliness. You are into every other thing. But now you are going the other way. And in the next shloka, he says, Tataha shanaihi shaneraiva rechayannatu vegataha. iyam khalu mahamudra mahadehi pradarshita. Tatah shanaihi shanaraiva rechayet. Na vetah. Now make sure, having done this retention and having that feeling, you go ahead and do rechaka slowly, not in a speedy manner. So we should know up to what limit we can keep our breath held in and when we are supposed to leave. A constant regular practice is to be brought into our regular routine so that we step by step gradually become detached from the material world and become connected to what we say as our spiritual journey. So there one should exit slowly, never rapidly. This indeed is Mahamudra as appreciated by the great yogis. Iyam khalu Mahamudra Mahasiddhaihi Pradarshita. So here, told this, he is making us understand the result, how it is going to make us the other things understandable. Mahaklesh adayo doshaha shiyante maranadaya mahamudra chatenaiva vadan vibuddha uttama. Mahaklesh, what is Mahaklesha? Yes, sir, come. No, it's completely fine, sir.
The point is, I don't know the exact technique of Jalandhar Bandha, but now here it is said that Shanai Shanai Reva Reche, that means exhale. But where is the inhalation? Or there is the inhalation in Jalandhar Bandha itself?
No. As you lean forward, interlock, and hold the foot with both the hands, you are first inhaling. Applying chin lock, and along with Uddiyana Bandha, you are maintaining. Already the heel which is down is acting as a Moola Bandha. So with all the three bandhas, you have done the retention. As with that retention done, and for that able time you have maintained, then you release the Jalandhar Bandh and do the Rechaka. Now, when you say where it is mentioned, now here we have to understand and connect it to the previous chapter, the way the Purak, the Kumbhak, and the Rechak was advised to be done. So here in this shloka, he goes a short way, making us understand that this is how you have to keep in the mind. Okay, you have done the inhalation, you have retained it in, now holding it as per your capacity, slowly exhale. So as you are told to slowly exhale, it is the Rechaka part which has been connected with all that doing that when you do for the retention of the breath in. So we have to understand it by ourselves. That is where the guru makes the student understand what is to be done at the right proper time. This is how we go ahead with it. Okay. And the result, as it says, Mahaklesha. We have learned kleshas from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. They are avidya, asmita, rag, dvesha, abhinivesha. And we all know that these are existing at 4 levels. Prasupta tanu vichin udara. Prasupta is the dormant state. Tanu is at a very feeble state. Vichinna, scattered, dispersed state. And Udara is in its best expanded form. Now, the people who are in the best of their ignorant abilities and do not understand what is the truth, they are far away. We can say the klesha or the misery existing in them in its full form, expanded form. But you think about a saint, about a holy person, about a yogi, about a sannyasi who knows that all this is Maya. And he is completely into that dormant state of klesha, where the kleshas are not that active and he is having the knowledge of the self. And here he says, Mahaklesh adayo shaha shiyante maranadaya. It will remove all the evils or negativity like avidya and like that of the others, like that of death. For this very reason, that the esteemed among the wise, the esteemed among the practitioners of yoga call it the great mudra, because it is going to give you that relief of overcoming the klesha. As in the second chapter of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, it is very clearly written there, this is Kriya Tapa Swadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. This is the first sutra of the second chapter. And what it says, Samadhi Bhavanartha Klesha Tanukarnarthascha. The kleshas are becoming attenuated or becoming weak and thin, lesser and lesser, as if they are no more there. And what is happening? Samadhi Bhavanartha. You are inculcating everything that is required for Samadhi. You are going towards Samprajnata Samadhi. Here, this practice of Mahamudra is going to overcome that klesha, is going to overcome that experience of miseries and get you detached from and lead you into the experience of going beyond the life and death cycle, going beyond the experience of the material world and becoming settled with spirituality. So this shloka makes it very clear how it is overcoming the Mahaklesha, how avidya is removed and vidya prevails, how ignorance is removed and how that knowledge, that wisdom prevails. So Mahamudra with the physical action, regular practice, we are actually training our grosser body as well as our subtle body, the Sthula and the Sukshma Sharira, to go ahead and prevail towards our ultimate Karana Sharira, which is going to take us to that kind of understanding where we are no more keeping the seed of again taking the birth and getting into the birth and death cycle completely avoided. And this is Mahaklesha Avidya. You see in every philosophy, even in Buddhism, this klesha is being talked about, that this is the reason, that this is the ignorance which is keeping us away from the truth. So first overcome this. And Mahamudra is having the ability of making that overcome. Sometimes I feel, is Swatmaramji trying to exaggerate the things? Or sometimes I feel, maybe I'm not into that level of experiences where he is expecting me to be. Or if maybe I am not into those values, the practice of those things where I need to be in order to experience the true value of practicing Mahamudra. So friends, this is one of the highest practices in yogic practices, which is supposed to be done under proper guidance. What is the technique for Ashutosh, as I need to make him understand? If you are folding the left leg and keeping the left heel at the perineum, holding your right foot with both the hands interlocked fingers, you are inhaling nicely through both the nostril, applying chin lock, pulling the tummy in, letting your gaze to be in Bhrumatya region, in between the eyebrows. Now I am connecting you to Gheranda Samhita also. And your retention of the breath is taking place. The moment you feel, I cannot maintain beyond this level, you are relaxing the gaze from the Bhrumadhya, releasing the chin, and at the same time, simultaneously, you can go ahead and release your foot also and straighten up back to the right angle position with your back and right leg. So once you are done with the right leg, to do with your left leg also. In the technique, I was asking my teacher, Mr. Neeraj Goyal from Kaivaladham, when I was in Kaivaladham in 2006 for a month. There he said, it is not even Janush. The way you sit in Vajrasana, one of the leg is, the heel is kept between the region of anus and genital, and it is literally because of the body weight or because of the pressure from the floor, it is literally pressing the perineal region. And then you are bending forward to the other leg, which is straight, holding it and making it do. Ashutosh sir, we are going to do it in our practical class. It is going to happen. Though I am explaining it orally, but it is what we are going to practice. Yeah, you can see here. This is the Mahamudra. And the practitioner, the photograph which you are seeing, that also belongs to Neeraj Goyal. So this is what is Mahamudra as you are holding and doing it. Now he is in the maintenance period of Mahamudra. Thank you, Sunil Bhai. So here, practice as it is made us understand here, Swatmaram ji is clearly emphasizing कि having done with the right leg, now go for the left leg also. If you see the next shloka, in 14th one, he says, Chandrange tu samabhyasya suryange punarabhyasit. Having done with Chandra Anga, that is your left body, now go ahead and do it with your right side of the body. Yavat tulya bhavet sankhya tato mudra visarjayet. Having done this equally on both the side, as many rounds as you want to do, that is where you will be able to complete the one round or one cycle of the mudra and continue with the practice. So this is how we understand Mahamudra. And in the next shloka, if you read, he says, Na hi patyam apatyam va rasaha sarve api nirasaha api bhuktam visham ghoram piyusham kiriyati. The one who is practicing Mahamudra, he goes beyond the experiences of the senses. When he says, Na hi apatyam va rasaha sarve api nirasa. Whatever he eats, there is no enjoyment of the food. Enjoyment in the sense, aha, कितना टेस्टी है, खट्टा है, खारा है, फीका है, ये experiences से आप आगे चले जाते हो. And all that is tasteless even becomes enjoyable. Nirasaha, that one which is tasteless, that means for you, whether it is taste or tasteless, it doesn't matter. You go beyond that experiences, because taste and tastelessness is likes and dislikes, good and bad, success and failure. We have to understand this here in this manner, that we are going beyond this. As in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 48, shloka, we says, success and failure, samo bhutva. When in that shloka, yogastu kuru karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya, siddha asiddhayo. Siddha, the success. Asiddha, the failure. Samo bhutva. See similarity between the two. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So samatvam is coming to us with the practice of Mahamudra itself. This is how it is. And he says, api bhuktam visham ghoram piyushamiva jiryati. The person who is into this practice, even the deadliest of the poisons will get digested as if it is like a nectar, as if an amrita. So see, means the material things will not affect you. In fact, in one of the texts while explaining Mahamudra, it is said that no weapon can destroy you. That means you will be coming to that siddhi where the Panchamahabhautik force will not be able to destroy you. Nowadays, as we more towards material, people can, out of animosity or greediness, can kill the other person by various weapons available. But here now, if you are into this practice, this will not happen, because you will go beyond the impact of the forces of Panchamahabhuta or forces of Prakriti, you can say. That is where you are going beyond. And this he is emphasizing more again in the next shloka, where he says in the 16th one, where he is talking about the physical benefits. Shaya, that is tuberculosis. Kushta, skin disease. Gudavarta, Gulma, Ajirna, Purogamaha, Tasya Doshaha, Shayam Yanti, Mahamudra tu yo abhyaset. All the diseases, whether it is tuberculosis, whether it is skin diseases, whether it is related to constipation, or Gulma means glandular enlargements, Ajirna, that is indigestion, and many more others which are related to our physical body. The practitioner will go beyond all this, because he, his practices, will be destroying all such kind of diseases coming to us. Katiteyam Mahamudra Mahasiddhikari Nanam Gopaniya Prayatnena Na Deya Yasya Kasyachit. Thus, as I have explained to all the Mahamudra, Swatmaramji says, it is this Mahamudra which is bestowing upon the people the great success, Mahasiddhi. Now it has to be kept a very good secret and should not be explained or imparted to one and all. It is to be given to only that person who has that belief in the system, whose mindset is ready to absorb it, accept it, and get along with it. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है हमारे योगा क्लास के सेशन में जब हम ऐसा कहते हैं ना, क्या सर ये सब बकवास है, ऐसा होता होगा क्या, ऐसा कोई कहता है, जब ऐसा कोई कहता है ना तो उसको समझाने जाओ, समझ जाओ कि उसकी पात्रता कहां तक है और उसकी समझ कहां तक है और उसको उसके हाल पे छोड़ दो. दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव लर्न इन माय एक्सपीरियंस. रादर नहीं तो वो ऐसा हो जाता है कि उसके मुंह लगकर उसको समझाने के लिए तू मैं करते हुए आप अपनी वैल्यू को वीक करना शुरू कर देते हैं. तो इट इज बेटर लीव द थिंग्स देयर एंड से इट्स फाइन. If you believe it, it is there for you. If you don't believe it, it is not there for you. Simple. So if you are believing, have it. If you don't believe it, live it. ऐसा बोल के आप भी अपने आप को वहां से अलग कर दो. This happened one incident in the institute when I was under Guruji, and I was into a confrontation with one of the students by making him understand, and I was very hell dependent on making him understand that आज तो इसको समझा के ही रहूंगा. And somehow it happened that Guruji was also sitting in the other room and listening to the conversation. Once the class got over, he came to me and said, do not put your energy where it is not required. Only let your energy work where it is required. I said, what do you mean, sir? If that person is not ready to understand, why are you hell bent upon making him understand? He is not having that patrata to absorb the things. If he is not having, live it. Situation, worldly experiences, जब ठोकर लगेगी तो खुद आंखें खोलकर चलने लगेगा. जब आंखें खोलकर चलेगा, you will be available to him at that time. Do not worry about it. So don't try to exercise the knowledge by imposing on him. Let the knowledge be what it is as it is. Do not try to impose it on anyone. Because if they are not able to have it, they will never have it. So please keep it to yourself, and a time will come when they will be eligible to have it. That time, you, me, the right teacher is available for him to gain that. So keep this in the mind whenever you are teaching and live it as it is. So that was one of the great learning which took place on that day as I was doing this. So this shloka makes us understand it is to be practiced by the one who really understand it. Others, no point. So with this, we have completed Mahamudra. We can have some clarity more by having a discussion on this. See, right from shloka number 9 to 16, 17, I think so. Yes, almost 9 shlokas are devoted to this. Yes, sir.
Sir, 2 questions.
Yeah.
One is, I mean, like a stupid fellow, I ask you that I will practice only Mahamudra. Will that do?
No, it will not do.
It gives so many benefits. I only want to practice Mahamudra. I don't want to learn anything else.
That's true. But have you? It is possible only if your foundation is like that. See, I want to climb the mountain. Are my hands ready? Are they ready to grip the stone? Are my feet ready to have that grip while I'm climbing the mountain? So you have to train yourself to climb that mountain. Mahamudra is like that mountain only. First, you have to do all the preparations. Unless those preparations are done, you will not be able to have that grip, and you will feel ये तो खाली किताबों में लिखा हुआ है, इसका ऐसा वैसा कुछ होता नहीं है, इतना कुछ बेनिफिट मिलता नहीं है. वो बेनिफिट कैसे मिलेगा जब आपने अपने पात्रता को उसके लायक नहीं बनाया? तो we have to qualify ourselves to attain that benefit, sir. That qualification had already started from chapter 1 to chapter 2, and we are into chapter 3 now.
Now the second question is,
yes.
The second question is that there are so many, vyadhis which are being removed, which also means that if this energy is not activated, then all these diseases will happen simply because my consciousness, as you said, my consciousness is latent, and then all these diseases will happen. So the
See,
in a way that is what is implied, no?
yes, yes. But we should understand the we have just now said. When we enumerate or number these diseases, these are because of the karmic impressions, sir, that we are going through our deeds throughout our life. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि what you do, you are going to bear the fruit of the same. So any disease is not coming to you only because of the sake of coming to you. It is coming to you because you have made yourself available for it. So how you make yourself available for the disease? By getting into those karmic cycles, by creating such kind of karmas, and that karma have made you that. तो यहाँ पर महामुद्रा का concept क्या है कि when you are practicing it, you are annihilating your karmic impressions itself. So when you are not into any deeds, where do you find yourself getting into the diseases, which are the fruits of the karmic impressions? They are not there. So if they are not by this way or that way, with the on beyond the experiences of the physical diseases, if they are still there, they are there to your body, but now you have distincted yourself from the body and connected yourself with the self. You are into some plane, some different plane rather than body. So body may be going through the pains of karmas, but you are no more experiencing this. And there are many saints, many people who were self-realized and their body was still going through that many pains. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, as you are well aware of, in his life, he was very much diseased. He was having cancer, he was having lung cancer, in fact, and only Narendra, as his very good student, could manage to go near him because he used to emanate a very foul smell, and others could not go closer to him. Now, what is this? So one day, Narendra asked, because Narendra had not yet become Vivekananda. So Narendra asked, Guruji, you are such a great practitioner. You are such a spiritual person. Why you need to go through this? So Guruji says, I am not going through it. I am not going through it. It is my body which is experiencing it. The karmas which have been done by my body, it is going through it, has to go through it. There is no relief to that. Diseases means the result of your karmas. But you as an individual, once you come to that awareness of the self, you are beyond it. This is how we have to understand it, sir.
Right. But then the question is that by doing my Mahamudra, how I am removing my karmas or karmic impressions?
As simple, sir. One inhalation, one exhalation is one karma, sometimes I feel. Because every inhalation, exhalation, you are active with worldliness. You are active with the whole world. Now, when you are coming into this, your mind, your drishti, your breaths, everything is one pointed on one direction. You are training your whole existence into that meditative state. And you are into it, you are out of it. You are into it, you are out of it. You are not allowing the other thoughts to get fructified. So that means the karmas are not created. You are not doing any deeds. So when the deeds are not done, where is the fruit arising there? So you are keeping yourself free by not doing it. Rather than doing the karma and coming to it, you are not into the karma. Bhagavad Gita says, as we have read that karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. The next line says ma karma phala hetur bhuma. That doesn't mean that you are doing your deeds with some intentions. You have to avoid that also. Ke sangasteshu sanga astu akarmani. That is where you should do the actions as per your dharma, but do not claim it, do not identify yourself with it. So here, with the Hatha Yoga practice, you are not giving yourself the opportunity to do it itself. If you divide of it with your mind, intellect, and ego, where does the karmic impression addition comes? It is not there. So you are beyond the karmas as you are keeping it in practice. Is this connecting to you, sir?
Yes, and this is a totally different explanation of breathing in, breathing out, one-pointedness, ekagrata. It frees me from my karmas or karmic impressions. Yeah.
That is how yogic practices, hatha yoga practices, because this is a practice of action, which is leading us to inaction. To being in action, you are inactive, and that inaction leads you to the knowing of the self. So this is the beauty of practicing hatha yoga. That is how to understand, and that is where the unmani avastha is making us understand to go ahead. I hope this is getting connected to what we are learning. Yes, it is 11:41. For the next 4 minutes, if anyone else would like to contribute to discuss something, because I would like to take up the Mahabandha only in the next class now, not now, because that requires many more connectivity to the other practices. So here, if anyone would like to say something.
Well, the other thing is Maha. The word Maha has been used. Maha Mudra, Maha Siddhikara. That means it is one of the greatest things.
Yes, yes, yes. Means one should be striving to prepare himself for this practice, because this is one of the very advanced, highest level of practice that one will be able to do and go ahead. This is how we have to connect it. Sunil Bhai would like to say, then Ashutosh sir started speaking, so you stopped yourself there.
मैं केवल यही कह रहा था सर, रिलेटिंग टू योर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, अपने अनुभव में देखिए ना, मॉर्निंग क्लास के अनुभव में हम करने चले तो मयूरासन, पर शुरुआत हम सूक्ष्म व्यायाम से कर रहे हैं. तो महामुद्रा पहुंचने से पहले वो पूरा, जैसे उन्होंने उपमा दी माउंट एवरेस्ट की, तो पूरे पहले 8.25 किलोमीटर चलना पड़ेगा, तब जाके फाइनल असेंट पे चढ़ सकते हैं. तो जस्ट दैट्स ऑल आई वाज कह.
So nice. Mahendra Bhai, would you like to share something?
What should I say? It's a secret. Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. It has to be kept secretly imbibed, secretly absorbed.
Yeah.
This is another aspect, that where this secrecy is going to lead us.
Yes.
I think lot of experience, I think, is required.
Yeah.
I think we are just on the bank of a river. So we have to enter into practices really to share our experience about this.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So here, that is the reason, in our Hatha Yoga, these mudras have been decorated very nicely. And understanding the importance of mudras in Gheranda Samhita, it is described earlier to the other psychological practices like pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. It is prescribed earlier, and you are told to get in the mudras of Gheranda Samhita, we will be coming across Panchadharana. So this will be a new learning there. So it will be a great journey where we have embarked. Yes. Let's end now. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You were muted, Sunil bhai.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. So you may not have heard the prayer. But chaliye.
Oh, but
We have
we
gone
saw
through.
expression.
Okay. So now we have our 15 minutes of experience sharing.
Yeah.
One suggestion I think that came, which I thought was a good one, is we will rotate the moderation of this session amongst ourselves. Right? That every week, one by one, we will moderate the session. We will, so as so that we kind of get a chance to experience everybody's point of view. So I thought let's go alphabetically. Maybe Asha ji with A, can begin. So you have Asha ji now 13 minutes. Please conduct the session as you please.
Okay, fine.
Hanji, yeah.
So, sir, okay, I'll do it. But what am I supposed to do? The voice is not clear.
Asha ma'am, your bandwidth is low. Your bandwidth is low, so you can keep the video off. That will help you to hear as well as we all also be hearing you clearly.
1 second. I'll try to keep the. Is it better?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
No, audibility is still
It
not.
is not there.
We can't hear.
We can't.
Okay, Asha ji, please switch the video back on.
Okay. So we share our experiences from the morning session. Can we do that?
Any which way, thing is the focus is the entire previous week,
This week, yeah.
right? So that we get a chance to share what we have done, between the time we met last and now. But like I said, every moderator can choose to focus on anything, any point in time, as we please.
Maybe we can focus on the morning session, on the asana session, on the practices session rather. Ashutosh sir, would you like to start?
Initially I thought that it will be not easy to get up at 5 and join the session at 5:30. But now I find it, I've never experienced any difficulty that way. But sometimes the sleep is disturbed. And then when I get up, I find that, my blood pressure may be a little higher. That's what I find. If the sleep is disturbed, then, of course, right now we are doing micro Sukshma Vyayam, so it does not make anything difficult. But otherwise, sometimes I might find myself a little restless if the sleep is disturbed. Otherwise, it's perfectly all right. And throughout the day, I feel very lucid. Alert and not tired at all. So, but the only thing is, at 9:30 I start feeling sleepy at night. Then I cannot keep awake after. It becomes very, very difficult to keep awake after 9:30, which is a good thing in a way. It's a good thing in a way. And what I found in the micro exercises was, when I was, I like the twisting exercises where you twist, that twisting exercises are of different types. I mean, Jaikumar ji is very fond of using twisting exercises, so I like that. But I found that Vishnu ji doesn't use much of twisting in his micro exercises. So personally, somehow I don't know. I like the twisting exercises better. Maybe it helps in digestion and bowel movements. Maybe.
So, Sabir bhai, what do you have to say about the twisting?
Regarding twisting, when we are doing these micro exercises or when you are doing Sukshma Vyayam, the intention is to only loosen up. Now, if that loosen up itself is helping you, I think, sir, that is what is more required by your body. And when you are getting that, the body gives you an indication, okay, this I want more. वो अपना पेप्सी का एडवर्टाइजमेंट है ना, ये दिल मांगे more. So it is like the what is required by the body, you will be getting attracted to those things. This makes me better. This makes me better. This makes me better. So your experience, and that is very nice. So I won't stop you. As I told you last time, whatever earlier practices you used to do, which has made you to be fit at this level also, you should never leave them, because those practices have made you what you are today. So along with the new ones which you are learning, keep them connected. So nothing wrong with that. So we have to go ahead with it.
In a joint class, how do you decide in a joint class? For example, Ashutosh sir wants twisting exercises and he likes it and he finds it beneficial for his body. So how do we tell the teacher to introduce more of them?
Now here, the understanding of the teacher and his comfortability also matters. But when this kind of feedback comes in, then we come to the conclusion that I see Asha ma'am doing the practice so flexibly. So that means her flexibility ratio is higher than that of the other people. So when I see Mahendra sir, then I can make out he is slightly on the rigid side or on the slightly non-flexibility type. So keeping 4 to 5 people in the mind, we have to design something which is going to do justice to all.
Yeah.
We will never keep it favorable to one or favorable to the others, and the other person is going through that problem. No, never. That should not happen. And the teacher always sees that. How we need to design it.
I just have to say that even though flexibility is there, I personally prefer simple asanas. I have too much of forward bending and too much of complicated asanas. I get tired. I don't feel good the whole time.
True. I'm of the same opinion, ma'am. I'm of the same opinion. Vishnu is slightly dynamic.
Yeah.
So he may expect a little bit more from us.
Yeah.
But with our performance, he is always having that eye where he will understand I need to move down in order to keep my pace according to the requirement of the people.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong in making him also realize once in a while, we would like to go slow or we would like to do simple asanas more rather than going into the true practice of the Hatha Yogic practice of the Hatha Pradipika. That we want to do, but at the same time not sacrificing our comfort. So our comfort should not make us, you can say, slow also, but at the same time we need to catch up and at the same time go with a uniform speed. And every person is going to show different results, because inherently how you are structured, that will show the result.
So how do we tell him? When do we tell him?
I have already told him.
Okay.
I have already told him. Yesterday, myself, Jaikumar, and Vishnu, we had a discussion of almost for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And we were discussing all these points.
Yeah.
And my main aim was to understand that all our practitioners are 50 plus. So when they are 50 plus, we should not think that they are young as we are like 30 and all. So keep this thing in the mind, keep yourself in their boots and try to make them understand. So they said, sir, we know that, but sometimes emotion takes over and we flow. Okay, fine. Then this is where you learn to control your emotions also. So this is already made clear to them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
कुछ बोलेंगे? I think Mahendra sir's
Yeah.
Very easy.
Not audible.
No, you're audible, sir.
you're audible.
Okay. Okay. Right. See, when we were in the planning stage and going to start the session from the 2nd of August, we rather started 1 week before. We were not knowing what exactly is going to materialize, crystallize, where we would be heading. But one thing is very clear, when the vision was clear, our all actions helped in that, irrespective of the personality of individual. He is hard or soft, flexible, non-flexible, but at every stage we are growing. We started practicals. In fact, I was the first to ask Sunil bhai, chalo 5 baje se class start karte hain, no matter. He says, if you start, you will be the first. So I said him, it's a routine. I have been doing an early riser since my student life, so that is not a problem for me. But when you come in a group and adjust according to the group, you have to make a lot of effort. And that is also a path of growth. So every step, when I do of myself, you give certain concessions. चलो 5 मिनट लेट हो जाते हैं, 10 मिनट लेट हो जाते हैं. अच्छा चलो थोड़ा. Even during these days, कभी-कभी ऐसा लगा कि आज छोड़ देते हैं. और in fact, once or twice it happened. In one day, I was awake whole night. Due to some family reasons, till 4 a.m. I was awake. So what should I do in that circumstances? The thought was that let us have practice. घंटे और जाग लेते हैं. But somehow it transpired me कि नहीं अब तो नींद आ रही मेरे को, let us avail. 4:30 I left a message to Jaikumar कि I have been awake all night. Somebody was not well. And therefore now I'm going to sleep. Can I be permitted to? I just sent a message and slept. And got up around 10:30. Now these adjustments also helping towards growth itself. So everything I look at into somebody guides, always guides. If this is better, go for this. Now we should be able to catch up this guidance, the hidden guidance, the secret teachings, the concepts for smaller mechanical things that we are doing. And I have been fortunate enough to get glimpse of the studies and experiences, everything. So I think we are moving ahead of time. So I will stop here. There will be time to discuss more. Yeah, thanks.
So Sunil bhai, should we end up?
Since we are at 12, I just, briefly, Sabir bhai can share with us the gist of yesterday's conversation. If there's anything we need to keep in mind, then I think this is just administrative. Our session for 12 o'clock is over, but just...
Yes, I would just like to share that in 1 minute itself. In fact, as I already told you, understanding the requirement of the group, yesterday we three had a nice discussion and all the three are prevailing on the same platform. In fact, the way I was thinking, even Jaikumar as well as Vishnu was thinking, and we decided that in every 2 weeks, at least once we will come together, discuss the progress and then decide the further approach of going ahead. So that was very clear. And this is very clear. Now, as Sunil Bhai has also suggested, from 7th December onwards, the Sukshma Vyayam will be done prior to 5:30 start of the practices. So whether we start at 5:15 or whether we start at 5:30, that 20 minutes, 15 minutes to 20 minutes of Sukshma Vyayam is supposed to be done earlier, so that we can give more time to our practices, where the teachers will not feel that they are not doing justice to the progress. They are stuck only in Sukshma Vyayam and not able to teach the new practices. So that clarity was done. And Jaykumar was made to understand, as he is also part of the everyday practice, how Saturday he is supposed to take. And myself and Jaykumar are going to come together and go through whatever has happened through the week, Monday to Friday. And out of that, he has to understand which was the thing which was not done comfortably by the group, and to emphasize that more on those Saturdays, so that the practice session still continues on the Saturday. So this clarity was given, and Sukshma Vyayam schedule is being prepared. I have shared my part of Sukshma Vyayam with Vishnu. Vishnu is going to prepare the same as a final thing, and it will be shared with Jaykumar as well as with me. And we three know out of that which is to be more emphasized. Now, just now today I come to know that Ashutosh sir loves twisting a lot. So when he is that, then I will also keep in mind whether I have not even done one single practice of twisting or not. Otherwise, I will be depriving Ashutosh sir of that enjoyment of that Sukshma Vyayam of twisting. So that will be there always in my mind. So this way we should design the course, and some things will be always there which you may not want to do, but still you have to go through it. And there are certain things which you like to do, they are always available for you. So this is the approach.
Okay. Sorry, can I take 1 minute more?
Yes, yes.
Sure.
We can do it next time.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. So this time when I was doing the breathing, the alternate breathing, and after that we were doing the Kapalbhati. So my mind was in a very quiet state and I could not do Kapalbhati. So should I do Kapalbhati because the teacher is making me do?
Kapalbhati has to be always done before alternate nostril breathing.
Yeah, but alternate nostril breathing, I don't know what you call that. Do you know? The fast exhalation from the right nostril and the fast exhalation from the left nostril.
Achha, that was Shwasan Marga Shuddhi.
Yeah.
So first cleansing left nostril, then cleansing your right nostril, and then both of them going ahead.
Before that, we did the sectional breathing.
So
during the sectional breathing, the mind was in a very, very quiet state.
Yes,
and then I could not bring myself to do the Kapalbhati.
Okay. Now I should Asha ma'am, you are a very regular practitioner and you can easily come to the level that you have done with the practice of sectional breathing itself. You don't need Kapalbhati or Shwasan Marga Shuddhi to bring you into that level. So at that time, you can skip Kapalbhati. I will go ahead and say this, because now we have come to that level. The state of the mind tells us it's better to go into the further pranayam rather than getting stuck over here.
Right. So when I'm in a joint class, because the teacher is going to tell me, do it. So how do...
So we can see, even Vishnu knows, even Jaykumar knows, Asha ma'am is also a practical yoga teacher and she is experienced more than Sabir Bhai or Vishnu. For your information. So this understanding prevails in both of them's mind now. Yesterday's discussion, this was also pointed out, how experienced Asha madam is. So with that thing, if Asha ma'am decides to just sit quietly and observe the people and get along with her own practice also at one time, nobody is going to force you to get into the practice, ma'am. This is very clear.
Thank you. I don't want to say anything.
No. See, you may not be saying, but here we are sitting and understanding it very clearly. Okay. I don't know whether I am speaking same and I'm right or not. When I was doing my foundation diploma from Mumbai University, Solanki madam introduced one senior madam from Yoga Institute. And many times since that day, I was wondering whether it was Asha madam only or someone else. So you just dropped in because that figure was very similar to that of yours. The face, the height, and everything. I feel कि ये Asha ma'am ही होना चाहिए. I should ask her one day whether she was the one. And I
Who was the teacher?
Smita Solanki.
Okay. I don't know.
It way back in the year 2006.
Okay.
2006, 2007.
Okay.
So I was wondering, and you know, that time that lady spoke for just 10 minutes, and that really had a very good impression. It influenced us, it motivated us a lot. तो कभी कभी आपके वो एक मतलब जैसे कि साबिर भाई जोश में आके बोलते हैं ना, आशा मैम जोश में कभी देखती है आपको, आप एकदम शांत तरीके से बोलती है, बोलते के अंदर आपके अंदर वो संतपना हमको दिख कर आता है. तो आप बोलो मत बोलो, this is the fact. We come to realization many more things.
Sabir bhai, please. Are you trying to pull a fast one on me?
No, not at all. I hold my ears there if you are feeling like that.
All right. So we'll end
Yeah.
today's session.
Yeah.